Hello guys, in this video I'm going to tell you all the 3 Lara's biographies of each timeline, so let's begin. Lara belongs to an aristocratic family accustomed to a comfortable, safe and luxurious life. It was at Gordon Storm boarding school that she discovered she liked to climb and shoot. Lara was always very independent and did not like sports that you need to play as a team. One day Lara found a copy of a National Geographic article with an announcement that the famous Von Croy was preparing for a tour in Asia and expected to make a great discovery in Cambodia. Von Croy had previously visited Lara's school to give a lecture. It was in that moment that he became her inspiration. Lara shows this article to her parents and asks them to speak with Von Croy. Lara's father writes a letter to him asking Lara to accompany him as his assistant. Due to the great influence of Lara's father and the large amount of money offered, Werner accepted, ensuring that the places they were going to visit were calm. He remembered Lara from the lecture because she asked a lot of questions and stood out from the audience. This trip that Lara made with Werner are the first 2 levels of Tomb Raider 4: The Last Revelation. This adventure did not went well, and she returned home alone. Von Croy did not respect the warnings of an inscription and ended up getting stuck with the artifacts. However, it's not known how he managed to get out of there with the artifacts. Years after that episode, Lara goes on holiday to the Himalayas to go skiing. But on her return, the plane crashed and she was the only survivor. It was at that moment that she felt truly alive and realized how much she hated the suffocating environment of aristocracy. And because of that, she completely changed her life. Her parents were mad because they had already found her an influential man to marry. So they cut off relations with her and stopped giving her money, leaving Lara with the mansion that was already hers. To Lara, being a Tomb Raider is a lifestyle and not a job. To make money, Lara wrote travel magazines about her adventures, but sometimes she also received commissions for some artifacts. I'm going to end this biography with 2 curiosities. Lara knows how to cook delicious and fancy food, but she prefers to make beans on toast, and is afraid of dogs because her hound Corgi beat her when she was younger. Lara has shown signs of being talented since she was a child. At 9 years old, she was traveling with her mother, Amelia, on a plane that crashed in the Himalayas. The 2 survived and found a temple where Lara activated a portal. Her mother got worried when she heard a voice on the other side tell her to take out the sword. She does that and disappears. Now alone, Lara survives for 10 days until she reaches a city where she found a bar that let her call her father. In the years that followed, Lara was always with her father Richard, who was an archaeologist, and she kinda became his assistant. At 15, Lara also loses her father, who disappears in Cambodia. A body was found by the police that was impossible to recognize. So Lara found it difficult to receive her inheritance because they didn't know if her father was alive or not, and also because of her uncle. The 2 went through a legal battle, which Lara won. As the time passed, she surpassed her father in the archaeology field. She became famous and was loved and hated. Some government officials and other archaeologists do not like her irresponsible methods. They complain about the lack of documentation and that she picks up artifacts and does not communicate with the international community. She is nothing more than a treasure hunter. Lara has always valued her privacy, and that's why she never gave interviews or responded to the rumors. She remained a mysterious figure. Laura's mother was an artist who worked at home, and her father an archaeologist who traveled a lot. So Laura spent a lot of time with her mother and little time with her father. When her mother died in a plane crash, her father became even more obsessed with his research and trips. Meanwhile, her father got a girlfriend named Anna, who was introduced to Lara by suggestion of Winston, who thought that Lara needed a female presence in her life because Lara did not identify with other girls at school. Her father took on expeditions, but never paid any attention to her. On one of those expeditions, she found a jade trinket. Excited, she showed her discovery to her father, who didn't pay any attention to her, like always. So she goes to Roth, who is happy for her and uses one of his shoes laces to turn it into a pendant. Since that moment, Lara has been using it with great pride. Lara argues with her father and later finds him dead in what appears to be a suicide. Roth becomes responsible for Lara, and the two develop a father and daughter relationship. Due to his work, Roth spends a lot of time away from Lara, who spends much of her adolescence alone, becoming an introvert. To enter school, she chooses to get several jobs to pay the fees, and in university she meets Sam, who is basically the extrovert that adopts an introvert. The two become best friends. And that was all the 3 biographies. Now I want to compare, because I think some things are interesting. Sometimes I'm going to say the first one, the second one, and the third one, so you know I'm referring to the biography, because I'm trying to avoid to say the word too many times. So let's see. In the first biography, Laura's parents are alive, and in the others they are not. In the first 2, Lara suffers a plane crash in the Himalayas and survives. Laura's mother is alive on the first. On the second, she disappears and dies in Avalon, and on the third, she dies in a plane crash. Laura's father is alive in the first. In the second, he is killed by Natla, and in the last he is killed by Trinity. Her father is not an archaeologist in the first, and in the others he is. Lara only has a good relationship with her father in the second biography. In the first biography, the person that inspired Lara to study archaeology was Werner. In the others it was her father. Werner was her mentor in the first, and Roth was the mentor in the third. The original biography is not mentioned in the games like the others. I think that all biographies have interesting points. However, my favorite is the first one, where we see Lara, who decided to be herself and not what her parents wanted her to be. She found her way and was happy. In the other, she just follows her father's path and enters an obsession that lasts the 2 trilogies. And you, which one do you like the most and why? Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more videos. Until next time, bye bye!